So before we get started, check out the following links in the description box below as highlighted in the image shown. So you'll be able to get our past papers, our link to our official website, link to accreditations, our link to donation page, and contact details in the description. So once you'll be watching a certain video of any lesson or of any past paper, you'll be able to get all these links, and you can be able to get to download past papers, to reach to our official website. You'll be able to see links to our accreditations so that you can see which authorities have accredited us. You'll be able to reach to our donation page as well as our contact details.
Welcome back to another lesson. We continue with the fundamentals of finance, and our focus in this video will be on the exam that was done in April 2024, where in our previous video we discussed question number 1 to question number 10. And it's good to note that moving forward, this exam you'll have multiple choice questions, and is the reason why I'm beginning on question number 11, so that you can merge with what we had done in our previous video. Now, this question number 11, you are asked, a business angel investor primarily seeks what? When you see here, we are looking at several answers that have been provided. Here we have, let me start with the last one, direct involvement in daily operations of the company. Angels are these people. These are people who want to offer. They want to offer initial capital with the expectation of return. So when you talk of direct involvement in day-to-day operations, that's not correct. Long-term capital appreciation through exit strategy. Not really. You see, even though capital appreciation, basically this one is the role of the shareholders. Shareholders want to gain value of their investment, and even the management want to invest in asset that will appreciate with time. Now, regular dividends from an invested company. This dividends role, although they may like to gain, but in most cases, when you have this business angel investment, they are looking for high security. They want to see that when you invest in this, they gain in form of equity. These are people who want to assist or to offer capital, but they want to gain in form of equity. So equity, when they gain in form of equity, they want to have high value of those equity. The security here, we are talking about those assets, financial asset, high security over their investment. Good. Question number 12, you are told, trade credits allow small and medium enterprise to do what? That is the question you are asked. What is first of all, what is trade credit? You see, you can only answer this if you understand what trade credit means. Trade credits, these are situations where the supplier will delay receiving payment. They give you goods on credit, go and sell. Once you sell, you pay them. So that is what we mean by trade credit. Now, in a small and medium enterprise, is to do what? To borrow money from bank? No. Sell asset to raise capital? No. Issue bonds to investor? No. Delay payment to supplier for goods or services? Correct. So trade credits allow small and medium enterprise to delay payment. That is it. That is the correct answer. They want to delay payment to suppliers. Hi. Let's move to question number 13. You are asked, leasing equipment instead of buying, it has an advantage of. Leasing is a situation where you don't even buy. You are using it. It's an asset like building, even motor vehicle and the rest. Leasing means you pay some charges, fees, rentals, as you use that asset. So leasing equipment instead of buying, it has an advantage of what? Higher depreciation tax deduction? No. Although it is there, but not there. Increase ownership of assets? No. You don't own the asset by leasing. Greater flexibility in upgrading equipment? Not really. What it helps is reduce upfront capital investment. Upfront. That means immediate. That is a good thing or advantage of leasing. You don't invest heavily initially. It or in other words, another term you can use here, it reduces cash outflow. Yeah, you don't have heavy investment initially. Good. Let's move on to question number 14. You ask, Marcos Kiraide, an SME proprietor, is considering factoring their outstanding invoice to improve cash flows. I think at this point, factoring is where you are selling your account receivables. However, they are concerned about the potential fees and loss of control over their receivables. Which of the following option would be the most attractive to them? Full recourse factoring with high discount rate. Immediately when you hear high discount rate, that one you cannot go to something with high discount rate. High discount rate means you are going to pay more. So that one it can't. Let's go to D. Supply chain financing with extended payment terms. No. When you have extended payment terms, means the cost of this borrowing will be high. Invoice discounting with immediate access to funds. No. The best one and the most appropriate answer could be non-recourse factoring with low discount rate. This one here. Here we means that the factor assumes the risk of non-payment by the customers, if the customers fails to pay, fails to pay, the business is not held responsible. The business is not held responsible. So that is the best option that this business or SME could take. Let's look at question number 15. Which one of the following challenges is not typically faced by small, medium-sized enterprise? You see, we are looking like the one that is not immediate or common faced by SMEs in accessing funds. Let's look at the first one. Complex and lengthy loan application process. You start a business today and you have small, medium business, and then you have a lengthy loan application process. And you're borrowing, of course, SME will be borrowing short duration funds. Yeah. Then high risk perception by lenders due to limited operations. Of course, it's a challenge because people will, for a small SME, people will consider this one as a high risk customer, because they may end, chances of defaulting are very high. It's a common challenge. Lack of adequate financial information and documentation. Most of these SME don't even keep financial records, so that is a challenge. So we are looking for the one that is not. Listen, the key term is not. Stringent regulation requirement imposed by financial institutions. That is true. If you want to go and borrow funds from bank and you are an SME, no one want to give out money for you to go and default. There will be stringent regulations requirement. But that part of complex and lengthy loan application process, this one can only be found into a large customer, not SME, because large customer will be borrowing a huge amount of funds. So this one is not typically, you come here and say, this is not typically a problem with SME. That's okay. We move on to question number 16, where you are told, Karibu Digital Ventures, an SME in the technology sector, is struggling to attract venture capital due to its lack of proven track records. This is an SME, but it is not able to attract investor. When you are saying struggling to attract venture capital, these are people who are coming in to give you funds in exchange of equity. Yeah? And therefore, it is having a problem in attracting them. Which is the following strategy could improve their chances of securing venture capital funding? Yeah? What should they do to secure venturing capital funding? One, you're told focus on increasing profitability in the short term. You see, you want to get funding now, and you focus on increasing profitability. That means you need funds so that you can make profitability. Yeah. And from the information here, it is struggling to attract venture capital. That one you rule it out. Reduce research and development spending. Research and development spending, of course, is necessary so that you can be sure that your business is not going to wind up in the short run. So reduction is not going to help. Increase reliance on bank loans. Bank loans are expensive in the sense that venture capital may be looking for you to give them equity. They can become equity. That means at the end of the year when you make profit. So the most appropriate one is developing a strong business plan with a clear exit strategy for investors. When you come up with a business plan, this business plan may help you to attract venture capital. People can only believe on a strong business plan that is going to help them or motivate them to invest in you. Now, let's move on to question number 17. We are told John Abdul, an SME owner, is concerned about their reliance on trade credit from suppliers. Which of the following is the potential drawback of trade credit should be of the most concern? What should they basically focus on? Or the drawback is like something that will hinder. Which of the following potential drawbacks of the trade credit? One, early payment discount offered by suppliers. The suppliers, when they offer you early discount, means they want you to pay earlier. So that one cannot be a drawback. When you are given early discount by suppliers, that can't be a drawback. Increase dependence on suppliers for financing. There's another one. Improve relationship with suppliers. When you have a good relationship with the supplier, means that you are going to get trade credit easily. That one cannot be a drawback. Simplified accounting process. Those ones, they even enhance your profitability and your trustworthy with the suppliers. So the most drawback of a trade credit is increased dependency on suppliers for financing. When you over-rely, is a drawback. When you over-rely on the suppliers, it limits ability. This one is saying limit your ability let me wrap this. Limit your ability to negotiate. Your ability to negotiate better terms. better terms, or seek alternative sources, or seek alternative financial option, financing option. So over reliance on trade credit suppliers may force you to always agree with what the suppliers want, or you fail to look for an alternative, since you always depend on such suppliers for sources. Now let's look at question number 18 here. This question number 18 has some calculations. You are told, determine the present value of cash flows given a discount rate of 14%. Here, when the initial investment you don't have, we have year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. The key point to note here is the negative figures of the cash flows. That means is the cash getting out. Now we want to look for the present value. We start with the year. We shall have year 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to cash flows. Here we shall have 1 million. This 1 million, negative 500,000, and then 2 million, and then negative 600,000. Then we shall look at present value interest factors at 14%. Now, to get the previous, you will be provided with the financial tables, but I want to show you how to use your calculator. This one, we normally look at 1 over 1 plus R, or rate power n. That's how we do it. Like in this case, the first year, I will have, this is 1 divided by 1.14. And this will give me, I can work with the 4 significant figures, 0.8771, or let me put 2. 0.8772. Then the next one, I will have 1.14 squared. Then 1 divided by answer. I will have 0.7695. The next one is 1.14 cubed. And then 1 divided by answer. I will have 0.6750. The next one is 1.14 power 4. Then 1 divided by answer. This is 0.5921. Then you look at present values. You multiply these two. Like the first one here, I will have 877,200. The next one I will have, this is 500,000 times 0.7695. I will have 384 negative. Remember, this is 384. 750. Then the next one is 2 million. 2 million times 0.6750. I will have 1,350,000. And finally is 600,000 negative times 0.5921. This will give me 355,260. Now here you are required to add them up. Add them up considering the sign. This one is negative here. Add them up considering the sign. You're going to find this 1,487,000 150. So you'll come and tick your answer here. This will be your present value. Remember, there is no initial investment. If there was initial investment, then you could have looked for what we call net present values. Good. We move on to the next question. That is question number 19. Question number 19, you are told Duncan Correll is planning to make an additional investment at the end of each year for his retirement in 20 years. He will invest shillings 50,000 each for the next 5 years, thereafter 80,000 each for the next 5 years, and finally 120,000 for the remaining 10 years. The rate of return is 9%. How much will Duncan receive at the end of? Yeah, we need to do some calculations here. First of all, the first phase. Let's call this one first phase. The first phase, Duncan is investing 50,000. So we need to look for future value. Future value after 5 years, it will be 50,000 multiplied by, here we look at future value interest factor annuity. And this implies that we shall have 50,000. You look for at your tables, the future value interest factor annuity for 5 years. This will be 5.985. And it therefore, when you multiply these two, the financial tables when financial tables are provided to you, you'll be able to get future value interest factor annuity. Now, what is 50,000? 50,000 times 5.985. This gives me 299,000. 299,500. It's not 500. 295,000. 250. Sorry. This should be. This will be 299,250. Now, listen. This is the value of money after 5 years. Remember, it's supposed to last for 20 years. So we need to look at the amount that will be there after the remaining 15 years. So we say that this amount will be compounded for the remaining 15 years. For the remaining, because our focus is 20 years, remaining 15 years. So when you compound this one, the future value now becomes 299,250 multiplied by 1 plus 0.09 power 15. This will give you 1,090,000 or 90,018. Now that is the first. You're told that he's investing 50,000 for the first 5 years. Thereafter, 80,000 for another 5 years. So after another 5 years, we go to phase 2. Phase 2. We shall have 80,000 times future value interest factor annuity. But in this case, we are going to look at for 5 years. We had already obtained this one in the first example. Future value interest factor annuity here, 5.985. 5.985. You multiply these two, is going to give you 478,800. How long will you compound this one? This one, after, remember the first one took 5 years. This one is also taking 5 years. So this one has 10 years to go. So you can say this amount will be compounded for 10 years, for remaining 10 years. So we shall have 478,800 multiplied by 1.09 power 10, and this gives us, when you multiply these two, you are going to have 1,133,320. Last phase, or phase 3, we can talk of third phase. Third phase, you have in 120,000. This is 120,000, but this 120,000 is going to run for the remaining 10 years. So we multiply this one by future value interest factor, and then for 10 years. So this will be 120,000 times 15.193, and the amount that is going to earn here is 1,823,160. So the question you are looking for is, if you focus to the question you're told, how much will Duncan Coril have at the end of 20 years? So we add the first 5 years. The first 5 years we had, this was 1,090,018, plus the next 5 years, 1,133,320, and the third phase, 1,823,160. This is 160. So when you add this, you end up with 4,046,498. That is it. You come to your answer here and you find 4 million. That is 4,046,550. Yeah, the small difference is on rounding off. When you're calculating those compound interest rates. So here, this is the correct answer. Good. We look at question number 20. Question number 20, you are told Cheragat Wamai would like to have an annuity of 400,000 for 20 years when she retire in 25 years. This is a person working. He want immediately he retire, he start getting annuity of 400,000, and this is going to take place for 20 years, and it should be after 25 years from now. She expects a return on investment of 8%. How much will Chelagat Wamai need to invest at the end of each year to achieve her goal? So we need to look at the present value of the amount. So let's first of all find present value of the annuity. This is the money that he's going to receive after 25 years, and is going to receive it for 20 years. So what we are going to look here is present value is the installment multiplied by present value annuity factor. You shall have 400,000 times 9.818. So the present value of the entire income he's supposed to receive for 20 years is 3,927,200. Now, this one, we are going now to look at the investment he should have, or what he should make so that he can get that money. So we ask ourselves, future value is equals to present value times future value interest factor annuity. So if you want to find the present value, it is the future value divided by future value interest factor annuity. Remember, this one is going to take place in the next 25 years. So the future value interest factor annuity, this one should be for 25 years. And then we shall have, the amount we have is 3,927,200 200. We divide by future value interest factor annuity for 25 years, which is 73.106. And the answer you get here is 53,720. Here we are dividing by future value interest factor annuity. So our answer here is 53,720. This is what you need to pay now. We are going to stop there for now. We meet in our next video for the next set of questions. It's goodbye.
So if you like this video, you can always enroll with us. You'll be able to access more of these revision sessions. And also you'll be able to find well done lectures or pre-recorded videos for all the KASNEB courses as well as CHRP. And in case of anything, you can always reach us out. We have our contact details on the screen. Feel free to call, feel free to WhatsApp anytime. So thank you, and let's meet in our next session.